Hey everybody, this is your faithful vegan blogger Lindsay from Kiss Me I'm Vegan. We are at the 2010 Walk for Farm Animals in Santa Monica. Gene Power is here and he's so dreamy. These are the t-shirts that we're wearing. And then we're going to be carrying these awesome posters. And why don't you take a look around? A lot of people. And we will also be taking a short video when Gene speaks. Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
We're at a time now where people are recognizing, again, the profound consequences of our food choices. How we eat is incorporated into our bodies. And as Annie was saying, we eat healthy food, we're healthy. And our brains also tend to work better if our bodies are working better. Kids today in many schools are eating really lousy food. Kids that are lactose intolerant, for example, are being handed glasses of cow's milk. For the dairy industry, so influential in Washington, for any kid getting a federally funded school lunch, they're given a glass of cow's milk, even if they don't want it. So say these kids are lactose intolerant and they drink this cow's milk and they got, cramps and they're not feeling really good, it's kind of hard to concentrate on your lessons. So how we eat has enormous consequences for our health, has obviously huge impacts on animals, and in this country today, 10 billion farm animals, 10 billion, are raised and slaughtered under egregiously cruel conditions. Oftentimes they're in cages where they can't even move for their whole lives. Animal agriculture also is a huge problem for the environment. The United Nations put out a report a couple years ago called Livestock's Long Shadow, and in it they talked about how the livestock industry is a greater contributor to global warming than the entire transportation industry. Bill Clinton recently announced that he's eating primarily plant-based foods for his health. And so he's practically a vegan. And two of the guys he cites in his reason for becoming pretty much a vegan are Caldwell Esselstyn, is a medical doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, and Colin Campbell, who's a nutritional biochemist at Cornell University. They've both written on the subject, they've worked on the subject. These are both men in their 70s, and they're actually going to be the subjects of a film coming out. It's called Forks Over Knives, and there's cards on one of the tables here about that film, and I'd encourage you to pick up a card and to check out Forks Over Knives. It's coming out in March of next year, and it could have a significant impact on moving the bar forward, and it deals mainly with health issues, but it does touch on some animal stuff too. Most people don't like what's happening to animals on farms, but most citizens still are unwittingly supporting it. And most people also are a little bit queasy about animals being slaughtered, and it's not done in it's a bloody, violent act for these animals to be killed. Most people aren't too comfortable about that, so there's a tendency not to look. But as people look, there are changes happening. So we want people to make choices consistent with their own values, and I think ultimately that leads most people not to eat animals. And also people should make choices that are consistent with their own interests. It doesn't make sense to eat food that is giving us heart disease and cancer. I mean, that is not in our interest. It also doesn't make sense to support an agricultural system that is so wasteful and harming the environment. That is also not in our interest collectively as a species. We grow up in a society where eating meat is considered to be a normal thing. And it takes time for people to come around and recognize and question that basic assumption. I mean, I grew up eating meat and I did it without even thinking about it. So we need to be patient, we need to be persistent, we need to be compassionate, we need to be understanding, and we need to be examples. And again, making choices and living in a way consistent with our own values and interests, and encouraging others to do the same. And our goal is not to bring anybody down, it's to bring everybody up. As Gandhi said, the goal is not to bring people to their knees, it's to bring people to their senses. And that's really what we're about. And that's what we're speaking on behalf of these animals who have no voice. We're speaking for a different kind of system that is healthful, that is sustainable, and that can feed more people healthier food, we can live better lives. And kindness to animals is good for the animals, but it's also good for us.
So we are walking. Woo! Woo! We're walking right now in the Walk for Farm Animals. This is me, this is Steve.